Welcome to This Explainer. I'm Siddhi, and today we're doing something, well, a little bit different. I want you to close your eyes for a second and just picture a quiet, dimly lit, dark academic library. You know, the kind where ancient, dusty secrets are kept. Because today, we are absolutely not just memorizing vocabulary words. No way. We're going to decode them. We're literally looking at the hidden architecture of language itself. So let me ask you a pretty straightforward question. Have you ever actually tried to just sit down and memorize a massive list of dictionary words? If you have, then you already know that rote memorization feels exactly like hitting a brick wall. It is exhausting, it's incredibly boring, and honestly, the worst part is, the second you close that book, half of those words just completely evaporate from your mind, right? Well, there's a much, much better way to do this. Listen, words are not just random letters thrown together. That's a huge misconception. English vocabulary is actually this beautiful, highly structured puzzle. It literally operates on a system of hidden codes, which we call root words. And here's the magic. Once you learn these master keys, hundreds of complex, super intimidating words are just going to unlock themselves in your mind entirely effortlessly. You won't even have to force it. You'll just instantly understand them. Section 1. The stage. Lock you and lock you. Let's step straight into our first visual world. Picture a dramatic, hushed theater, or maybe a grand courtroom. The spotlight is hitting the stage, the acoustics are absolutely perfect, and every single syllable echoes loudly off the walls. Now, whenever you spot the letters LOCU or LOQU in a word, you're in this world. That word will always, without fail, involve a voice, a conversation, or a speech. It simply means to speak or talk, or as we say in Hindi, bolna ya baatcheet. It is the ultimate root of vocal expression. Let's put two characters right into that courtroom setting. On one side, we've got a witness who is loquacious. You see that LOQ root right there? This person is excessively talkative, like they literally will not stop chattering. They are bahut adhik bolne wala. But then on the other side of the room stands the lawyer, and this lawyer is eloquent. They express themselves clearly and effectively, a true savakta. When an eloquent person speaks with that kind of sharp clarity, the entire room goes dead silent just to listen. We can actually do a little bit of prefix math here, which is kind of fun. If we take the Latin word somnus, which means sleep, and we add our speaking root to it, we get somniloquy. That's the act of talking in your sleep. Nin mein bolne ki aadat. But what if we take solus, meaning alone, and add that to our root? Well, we get a soliloquy. Think of that lonely, tragic actor on a dimly lit theater stage making a passionate speech entirely to themselves. Natak mein khud se hi akele mein baat karna. Same exact root, but completely different scenes. This next one brilliantly illustrates how deeply visual these words actually are. I want you to picture a politician on a debate stage, completely dodging a really uncomfortable, direct question. They use circum, which means around, like the circumference of a circle, and a locu, our root for speaking. So they are quite literally talking in circles to avoid the main point. They're engaging in circumlocution. Guma firakar baat karna. They are speaking a lot, sure, but they're getting absolutely nowhere. Section 2. The throne. Archie and Crassy. All right, let's leave the theater and move into our next architectural world. We are now entering the grand, cold marble halls of power. Picture velvet carpets, golden thrones, and just the heavy, undeniable weight of ruthless empires. Here's the absolutely crucial point to remember. When you spot ARCH or CRACY at the end of a word, you're looking at the ultimate symbols of control. These roots determine exactly who holds the crown in any given society. They stand for rule, government, or power. Shasan, Sarkar, ya Sata. Let's walk through this and see the different types of societies this one little root can create. If we add the prefix on, meaning without, we get anarchy. That's a chaotic state of lawlessness with zero government, arajakata. What if we add oligo, meaning few? Well, then we find ourselves in an oligarchy, a government run by just a tiny, small group of powerful people. Now add Plutos for wealth, and suddenly you're in the glittering, highly exclusive mansions of a plutocracy, where only the ultra-wealthy class governs. Tannik Tantra. Moving on, there's meritocracy, where power is held purely based on your ability and merit. And finally, auto, meaning self. Autocracy. That is the absolute, terrifying control of a single dictator wielding total power. Ik Tantra. You see that? Just by swapping out the prefix, we completely change who sits on the throne. Section 3. The detective. Cognins and cognises. I want you to lower the lights in your mind right now. let's change the vibe entirely. We are stepping out onto a rainy, neon-lit noir street for a tense detective investigation where absolutely nothing is as it seems. In this dark, mysterious world, information is literally the only currency that matters. And that brings us to our third root, cog or cognus. These letters deal completely with the mental pursuit of truth and awareness. It simply means to know or knowledge. Janna, ye pehchanna. Let's trace our detective's journey step by step. Step 1. The detective arrives at the gritty crime scene and uses cognition. That's the mental action of acquiring knowledge and understanding. Sangyan. They're actively processing all the clues. Then, step 2. As they gather the facts, they become cognizant. They are now fully aware, having deep knowledge of the suspect's hidden motives. Jankar. Finally, step 3. The lineup. They look through that two-way glass and they recognize the culprit. They identify someone from having encountered them before. Pechana. So we have knowing, being aware, and identifying, all connected by this single brilliant root.
But wait, what if our detective needs to go underground? We just take our root for knowing and we slap on the negative prefix in, meaning not, incognito. So instead of being known, their true identity is totally concealed. They step entirely into the shadows, hidden from the world. Gupdurupse.
Locked. Section 4. The Vault. Clud, Klus, and Klaus. Did you feel that sudden shift? That slight, creepy feeling of claustrophobia? Welcome to our final world. Imagine you are standing inside a confined, heavily guarded bank vault, and those massive, heavy iron doors have just slammed shut right behind you. Whenever you see the letters CLUD, CLUS, or CLAUS in a word, a boundary is being firmly drawn. Exits are being blocked. Spaces are literally closing in on you. Because this root simply means to shut or close. Ban karna ya simit karna.
Now, I want you to notice the stark contrast here. On one hand, we've got claustrophobia. That is the visceral, panicky, totally irrational fear of being trapped in confined or small spaces. Band jagahon ka dar. The space is actively closing in on you. But on the other hand, we have the word preclude. Here, you are the one in control. Pre means before. So you are effectively shutting the door before a threat even arrives. You're preventing something from happening beforehand. Pehle se hi rok dena. You are shutting it out. And this next pair brilliantly illustrates the difference between an action and an entire lifestyle. To seclude is an action. It means to keep someone away from other people, to actively isolate them, to shut them away. Sabse alag thalag perdena. But what about a recluse? Well, a recluse is a person. A recluse is someone who actually chooses to live behind those closed doors. They live a solitary life, avoiding other people, kind of like a monk, a gueragi who just stays completely away from the outside world.
Section 5. The Final Recall Test. Okay, let's bring the energy way, way up. We've traveled through theaters, fast empires, noir streets, and locked vaults today. Now, I want to challenge you to prove to yourself that these hidden codes are permanently hardwired into your brain. Let's do a rapid-fire check. Ready? Solus plus lock, alone plus speaking, that's a soliloquy, akele baat karna. Plutos plus crossy, wealth plus rule, plutocracy, amir kashasan. In plus cognus, not plus known, incognito, guptarup. And klaus, meaning shut, claustrophobia, banjagakadar. Do you see it now? You are not forcing yourself to blindly memorize a dictionary anymore. You're just combining prefixes and roots to instantly decode these complex vocabulary words. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this one question. What hidden codes are you going to discover in the words around you today? Honestly, I hope you start looking at the world just a little bit differently from now on. Language isn't just some boring, dusty list of definitions. It is a beautiful, intricate matrix, and it's just waiting for you to decode it. Thank you so much for decoding it with me today. Stay curious and keep looking for those roots.